Moonlight Sonata, one of Beethoven's most famous pieces. Of all its movements, the third movement, Presto agitato, is one of its most powerful. Its ferocity is unlike the first two movements, and yet it maintains the overall beauty of the piece as a whole. This print, created by Friedrich Bodenmüller, called Fantasy zum Presto agitato der Cis Monosonate von Beethoven, translated in English to Fantasy for the Presto Agitato of the C-sharp minor sonata by Beethoven. Lengthy title, I know. Depicts a swarm of man and sea creature alike, amassing under what seems to be a cherub descending from the heavens. Like the movement, it itself is chaotic yet graceful, ferocious yet gentle. The violent thrashing of the conglomeration in the water is juxtaposed by the majesty of this angel. This print by Bodenmüller, as well as the original piece by Beethoven, are both from the German Romanticism movement, a movement that prominently featured works of art inspired by raw emotion and admiration for the natural world. By comparing both the oral, meaning, heard art, and the visual mediums of the German Romanticism movement through Beethoven's sonata and this print, created to illustrate a powerful moment in the third movement, the legacy of Beethoven can be expanded upon and understood in its reach through the obscure work of art, creating what today's society calls fan art. The Romanticism movement in Germany birthed many great artists. For example, Caspar David Friedrich, one of my own personal favorites. Among others, but I'd bet my life savings that before today, none of you have even heard of the name Friedrich Bodenmüller. In fact, before this assignment, I had never, and neither had our own professor, or neither had our professor's friends or other colleagues. In fact, one of my closest friends' father is from Germany, and studied the German Romanticism movement. It's their specialty. And yet he has never heard of Bodenmüller. So Dante, you might be asking yourself, you might be asking me, why even pick an art piece made by an individual for which there is little to no knowledge of? Especially on an assignment in which you have to analyze the historical relevance of that piece in respect to what was occurring during that time period. Well, to answer your question, I just think it's neat. That, on top of the fact that the lack of impact and near anonymity of Bodenmüller and this piece begs the question, why make it in the first place? I believe that this piece was not made for profit, for the purpose of profit. It was not even made to get Bodenmüller's name out there. I think this specific piece came from a place of admiration. The piece definitely belongs to the Romanticism movement, but instead of the admiration of beautiful landscapes or nature or anything like that, this piece seeks to invoke the same strong emotions that Bodenmüller had when he first listened to this piece. In modern times, there is a myriad of artworks of various mediums that are created in response to some pop culture phenomenon. Some create to entertain others, some artists seek to embody the original art in their own art, and some create works of art and fan fiction that eventually turn into their own pop culture phenomenon. One of the largest sites for fan fiction is called Archive of Our Own, or AO3 as it is colloquially known. AO3 is one of the largest collection of literary fan fiction that receives an average in 2020 of 250 million visits and 3.5 thousand new works submitted each day. And as of December 2020, had over 7 million individual works with an average word count of 10,000. Needless to say, this site holds a lot of fanfiction, some of which may never even be seen by others. Yet, people still create. They continue to create regardless of who sees it, because they are driven by whatever other piece of art, whether it be a show, movie, video game, music, whatever inspires them. It drives them and fills them with such passion that they need to express it somehow. That same feeling, that same drive, that same passion is what drove Bodenmuller to create this piece of art. Beethoven was the musical phenomenon of the time, and he was able to create such powerful music that would inspire other artists like Klimt to create this frieze in Beethoven's honor. Also, this is a really cool oil painting inspired by Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, another one of my favorite classical pieces. And look, though I doubt they ever met, it's hard to say that Beethoven created something that inspired Bodenmuller, among many others, to bring another work of art into the world. A work of art that inspired me to make this video. Thank you.